Hi, my name's Paul Grogan, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to play Shrine Duel of Light, followed by a 2-player playthrough. Shrine Duel of Light is a new 2-player abstract strategy game coming to crowdfunding on Tuesday the 8th of July 2025. This is a prototype copy of the game that I have here, kindly sent to me by Richard from Bright Horizon Games, who sponsored this video. The theme of the game is that both of the players are treasure hunters, delving into a dense jungle, and they found some ancient kind of temple. They're trying to get as many treasures as they can. They're both completing to get the grand treasure at the end, and then they come across this mystical chamber filled with light, and this ancient spirit speaks to them and forces them to play a duel of light. The winner of the game will get the greatest treasures. So let's jump to the table and let's see what you get. Now, as I just mentioned, this is a prototype copy of the game, so please be aware that what you see here is close to final, but may actually change in the final version of the game. What we have, the first thing, is we have an LED board. Now, you'll need to connect this board up to an external power source. The game does come with a cable, I believe, and the LED board, oh, it's just turned off, has multiple different settings. So you've got that one, you've got that one, you've got that one. Now you'll choose whichever lighting setting is suitable for you based on where you're playing it in. For the purposes of today, with the amount of lighting that I have in the studio, we found that just on brightness level 1 works really well. Each player has a player board, which you'll notice it has been covered with treasures. It's got 3 blocking tokens, and then off to one side are 2 pass markers, and we have 3 lone markers. What players are going to be doing is they're going to be taking these coloured lenses out of this bag. There are 3 different colours in here. We have red, let's get them all out. We have red, we have yellow, and we have blue. Now, one thing about the prototype is that these lenses are going to be a lot more vivid in the final version of the game. In this prototype, these are a little bit faint, a little bit light, but yeah, they are going to be better in the final production copy of the game. But what's going to happen is players are going to be placing these lenses onto this board here, and what they're trying to do is they are trying to get the colours on the board to match their secret code card. Each player will be given a secret code card at the start of the game. It will tell them which colours they want on here and whether they are targets or not. Targets mean that those spaces are more valuable for them, and no 2 players, because of the system that's used to determine which cards players get, no 2 cards are going to be the same. So, for example, in this one, the moon player wants that space there to be blue by the end of the game. The other player will not want that space to be blue. So I'm going to explain the basic rules of the game first, and then we'll cover the special powers that each player has. So on your turn, the first thing that you do is if this space is empty, you will take one from the bag and you will put it on there. So that is a yellow lens. Then you will choose one of the 4 dials to activate, and let's say we're going to activate this one. You will then turn that dial, if you want to, optionally 1 step. So I could leave it where it is, or I could choose to turn it there. Let's say, based on what I've got on my board, I'm going to choose to turn it there. And then you simply place the lens onto the space that is next to that. What you will then do at the end of your turn is you will deactivate the dial that you've chosen by flipping it over on its axis. Then the next player will take a turn, and let's say they draw red. Let's say they choose this dial. Let's say they choose not to rotate it, so that will go there. That will then flip over. Then it's my turn again. I'm going to draw out. I'm going to get red. I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to rotate it to there. I'm going to put it there. That flips that over. And then on the 4th player's turn, they've drawn blue. Let's say they choose this one. Don't rotate it. That goes there. What happens now is that flips over, and all of the dials are now inactive. When that happens, you will flip back all of the other dials on the axis, being careful not to change the way that they were facing, but you do not flip over the one that was just placed. Play continues like that until you get to a situation where one of the dials cannot have any more pieces on it. Because one thing I haven't mentioned yet is there can be 2 lenses on each space, and this is how you make the complex colours. So there are 3 basic colours in the game: red, yellow and blue, and you can actually have them. So at the end of the game, if this space, I needed this space to be yellow, that's great, it is yellow. But if I manage to put another yellow piece on it, it becomes a more intense yellow, and that means it's going to be worth 2 treasures at the end of the game instead of 1. So you can have 2 lenses on each of the spaces, and once there are 2 lenses on each of these 3 spaces, that means this dial cannot be used anymore for the whole game. And if I cause that to happen, I move the dial to here and I will gain 2 treasures. Once the 3rd dial is placed on here, the game is over and you count up the scores. Each player starts with 4 treasures. You can spend treasures during the game, and the objective of the game is to get the most treasures at the end. Now, also at the end of the game, when you reveal your card, you will try to count, well, you count the most contiguous group of colours that you have matched with. And contiguous is only through orthogonal lines. So in this case, this player didn't actually want that to be yellow, but let's say they wanted that to be yellow, and they wanted this to be also yellow, and then they wanted this to be orange. So you get orange by mixing red and yellow, so that would be an orange space. And let's say that's all they had at the end of the game that matched. Well, they are all contiguously connected, so their group would be a size of 3. And the player with the largest contiguous group at the end of the game will score 4 additional treasures. Right, that's the simple rules of the game, but it's all about the player powers, and this is where things come in interesting. Let's just zoom in on this part here, and I will explain how this works. So at the start of the game, each player has 6 of these powers, but they are all locked. You cannot use any of the powers unless they are unlocked. And what happens, and I didn't mention this earlier on, but as soon as you have refreshed the offer here by placing a lens there, you automatically, for free, get to unlock one of your 6 powers. And the way that you unlock it is simply by removing the treasures that are on it and putting them back in the supply out of the game. These are not your treasures. These are already spent. These are just to indicate that that power is actually locked at the start of the game. So by removing the treasures that are on it, that power is now unlocked and you may use it on your turn. You don't have to use it, and if you don't use it, it's there for future turns. Now, also, each player has 2 feathered serpents, and if you really want to, you could use one of your feathered serpents to unlock a second power on the same turn. And there are reasons why you might want to do that. And if you really want to, you can unlock another feathered serpent, and you can even do that on the same turn as you unlock this one, to unlock an additional power on the same turn. But you are going to lose 1 treasure at the end of the game if you use both of your feathered serpents. So for example, on turn 1 of the game, you could, if you really wanted to, say I'm going to unlock this power for free, then I'm going to use a feathered serpent to unlock this power, and I'm also going to use my other feathered serpent to unlock that power. That is a legal move that you could do on the first round of the game. You probably wouldn't want to. You probably want to use these powers at the right time in the game, because using them costs you your treasures. How many treasures does it cost? Well, let's go through the powers now. Let's pretend for this demo that they are all unlocked and they are all available for use. You use them by spending your own treasures that you have gained. So this power here, this power allows you, when you are choosing, if you remember, you choose a dial and you can rotate it 1 step. If you activate this power by spending one of your treasures, placing it on there, you may then rotate it a 2nd step so that it's pointing to exactly where you want it to point to. Now remember, once you've used a power, it's locked. You will then have to unlock it again in order to use it again. This power is, if you don't like the colour of the lens that came out of the bag, what you can do is you can spend 1 treasure to go hunting in the bag to see if you get a treasure of a different colour. In this case, you didn't. You drew red again. So what we do is we put that one to one side, that one to one side, we draw again. It's blue. Okay, well you could keep the blue, but if you really wanted to, you could spend a 2nd treasure as part of the same turn to basically go out and get the yellow one. Because there's only 3 colours in here, so if you didn't want the red, you didn't want the blue, you can go and find a yellow one, and that's the one that you will place on your turn. These treasures then go back in the bag. So that's what that power is. Now, this power allows you to use an inactive dial. So if you remember, the rules of the game are, once a dial is inactive, let's just move these around a little bit and let's put that on there. Once a dial is inactive, it cannot be used until it's flipped over. Well, this power allows you to use an inactive dial, and it either costs you 1 or 2. So if you want to use an inactive dial to place on an empty space, so let's say for example, I could spend 1 treasure to use this dial here. You still get to rotate it 1 step or 2 if you use that one, because you can use the powers in combination with each other. So I could choose an inactive dial, rotate it 2, and place on an empty space. And let's say that was there. I would use that power to use an inactive dial, that power to rotate it an extra space, and then that would go on there. Or alternatively, if I wanted to use an inactive dial to place on a space where there was already a lens, that would cost me 2 treasures. I would have to use 2 treasures to use an inactive dial pointing to a space where there's already a lens to put the new lens on it, like so. Now when you use an inactive dial, it doesn't flip over. It's only when you use an active dial. Now then, blocking tokens. Let's talk about these, because 3 times during the game a player can use their blocking tokens in order to basically claim a space on the board and prevent it from being used. So let's say, for example, I have managed to, using the clever use of my other powers, I have managed to get that space to an intense yellow using 2 yellow pieces. And if you see from my card, that's what I want it to be. In fact, let's use a better example. Let's say that space is orange, which is a red and a yellow lens combined. And not only do I want it to be orange, but it's also got a target on it. That means it's going to be worth 2 extra points for me at the end of the game. So what I do is, let's say I have just taken my turn and I have just placed a lens there and I've now got this orange space. I could, if I wanted to, block that space, which means it's locked in for the rest of the game. To lock in one of the outer 8 spaces will cost you 1 treasure. To lock in one of the central 4 spaces will cost 2 treasures. So I only have 1 treasure. Oh no, well, don't worry, because you can take a loan. There are 3 times in the game where you can take a loan, and you will only generally do this once you really need to do something. And that's what we're going to do right now. We are going to take our first loan. I gain 2 treasures from the supply, but I will lose 3 treasures at the end of the game. And then with those 2 treasures, I'm going to activate this power, which costs 2, because I am locking in one of the central 4 spaces. You place your blocking marker on it, and you then score as if it was the end of the game. So the scoring works in this way. If you are colour matching with 1 space, with 1 lens, it's 1 point. If you wanted that colour but you had 2 lenses there, it's 2 points. If it's a complex colour, so orange, green or purple, it's worth 3 points. And then in addition to that, if it had your target on it, it would be an extra 2 treasures. So in this case, it's orange, which is a complex colour, so that's 3 treasures, but it was also a target, so I actually gained 5 treasures from the supply. Now, gaining treasures by placing the blocking tokens is really useful because you are going to be using those treasures to power up your other powers. So that's the blocking ability. Now let's talk about the 2 really powerful abilities. These are very special. First of all, this power here is an overwriting power. So here's the situation. We have blue on there. Let's say that that dial was active. Let's say that this one was active. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. So this is overwriting. This allows you to essentially replace any piece on the board, except one that's been blocked, with the piece that you're about to place. So this is a really bad example, but let's just turn that around and put that there. There we go. Right. So I want this space to be red. This is the space that I want to be red at the end of the game, and it's got the target on it, which means I really want it to be red, and at the moment there's a blue lens. Now, blue is not good for red. That can never be done. So what I can do is I can overwrite it. You still have to choose a dial as normal. You can pay treasures to this power if you want to use an inactive dial, and you can pay treasures to rotate it. In this case, I'm choosing this dial, and it's already pointing to the space that I want to overwrite. So it's going to cost me 1 treasure to overwrite the existing lens with the new one. And the reason why it's only going to cost me 1 treasure is because there's only 1 lens there. And what I would do is I would put that back in the bag, and I would put that there. And that is a lot better for me. However, if there were 2, so let's say there was a red and a blue there. Let's say there's a red and a blue lens already on that space. I could, if I wanted to, spend 2 treasures to overwrite one of the lenses in a stack of 2. And it can be any of the lenses. It can be the top one or the bottom one. So in this particular case, what I could do is a killer move. I could use 2 treasures to replace the blue lens with my red one. And now look, suddenly we've got an intense red, and that is going to be worth, for me, 4 points at the end of the game. It's a basic colour. There's 2 of them, but it's +2 because of the target. So that's the overwriting power. Now, when you use an overwriting power, you are not actually adding anything to the board. You are replacing one thing that's already there with another one. That is also the same with this power. This is a relocate power. I'm just going to put that on there for this example. And with the relocate power, instead of placing one of the lenses, what you do is you actually relocate an existing lens on the board from anywhere except that's blocked to a valid location. So let's just recreate this situation here. This dial is no longer in play. It will have already been removed to here, and the player who did that gained 2 treasures because the spaces around it were either, well, that's blocked and that's got 2 in it and that's got 2 in it. So once a dial has all of its spaces like full or blocked, the dial is removed and placed there. So nobody can ever place here for the rest of the game. But it is a valid location to be relocated from. So if you use 2 of your own treasures, and it always uses 2 treasures, you can never use it with just 1, you can relocate a dial from anywhere on the board, like here for example. You can take that, although I would never do that in my case. I'd take this one, maybe. Oh look, and I've turned it from green to yellow, which is perfect for me. And you then place it as if you were you would then place it as if you were placing this one. So what that means is I need to choose a dial, I could rotate it if I wanted to, and then I would place it on the board. So relocation is taking a lens from any space on the board that isn't blocked and then placing it according to the normal placement rules. Choosing a dial, paying for use of an inactive dial if you want to, paying to rotate it extra if you want to, and then placing it on the board. That is all of the powers in the game. The last thing to mention about the player board is twice during the game you can pass. Now when you pass, you still have to draw a lens out of the bag if there's one there. If there isn't one, if there's already one here, you don't draw out of the bag. So that's the first thing you need to do on your turn. If the offering space is empty, you need to refill it. And then the second thing you do on your turn is you unlock one of your powers for free. Those 2 things automatically happen at the start of the turn. Then, if you want to, you could pass and play passes immediately to your opponent. You can do that twice during the game, but if you do it a second time, you are going to lose 1 treasure at the end of the game. And I think that is all of the rules of the game. As I mentioned, this is a prototype copy of the game, and I am now about to head into a game with Mark and Sally, where we're going to be playing a 2-player game. So I'm here with Mark and Sally. Thank you very much for joining us. This will be your 3rd game? 4th game? Fourth game. 4th game of it. So they're both experts at the game now. I've already taught you how to play in the previous part of this video, so we're just going to jump in. We're starting playing. The colour of this game has been red, so both players have one of the red cards, and we need to decide who's going to go first. Oops, let's flip the coin. And it's Mark again.
Again?
Hasn't done me any good so far.
Right, off we go.
So I'm going to refill the offering. Oh no. There we go. So we've got a blue one. I need to unlock something. Now then, the unlocking
And you've both promised not to play as evil as you did in the
Well,
It's gonna be tough, though.
depending on circumstances. So I'm going to unblock my blocking one.
Yep.
And I'm going to put, let me see where I can put this. It's not my favourite one. It must be said.
Anywhere.
So I'm going to do...
Not quite anywhere. But...
Let's have a little ponder about this. It's not actually worked out that well for me. Never mind. I'm going to put it like that. There we go.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank
So
you.
that flips over. There you go.
Thank you very much. I am going to refill the offering with
Another blue.
little
How about
blue. I am going to unblock this one over here. And then I think I will move that one there,
Oh, look at this.
that one
Don't
there.
put in for the middle spaces again.
Okay.
Okay.
That.
All right. See what we got here. Would it be blue? Oh, how exciting.
Power do you want to unlock? Power or
That's a
power?
really good question. So I'm gonna go with. I go with this one, the one that allows me to reuse, and I'm going to twiddle that one that way. I'm going to put that one
That's another middle space.
there,
Mhm.
and I'm going to do that.
Okay. We have 1 active dial left.
I'm going to try my hardest to put it in the middle. So.
I think you are going to put it in the middle.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well,
Well, no.
a nice symmetrical
So, first of
blue-yellow.
all, I'm going to take that off. So,
So you could use one of the inactive dials with that power.
what I'm going to do is I am just going to move that there. I'm going
Well,
to
look at
move
this.
that there,
Okay, right.
turn that
Which
over.
means all of these now flip over.
What a beautiful
Some lovely
pattern
symmetry
we
there.
have.
It is. And if you can just place blue yellows around the edge,
Yeah.
then it'll be very nice,
We
and
can do
we'll
that.
send it in for some modern art.
I know which colour I want now. It won't come out, but I know which one I want. Oh, look at that. What a surprise. It's a blue. There are reds in here, aren't there?
There are reds.
Okay, which one shall I unlock now? I think I will unlock the move a dial one.
Okay.
I could unlock a second one, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to wait. Barely not sure. I think I'll just place that one using this dial just there.
Yeah. So not turning the dial, just putting that on top.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to give that.
Are we having a block or not?
No. I don't think we will.
Okay. Mark's ability to block the space is available.
I did it too much before.
Right.
So I'm learning from previous games.
I'm gonna put that there.
Okay.
I am going to take that off.
Sally's favourite power.
Relocation. What you need.
That's what you need.
Want to be the best.
I am actually going to.
You're going to use it?
I am.
Already.
So the relocation power allows you to basically remove any lens from the board that isn't blocked, and in a stack of 2 you could remove either of them, and you move it to any space, but it follows normal placement rules. So you're going to use that dial and you're going to place it there.
There we go.
Okay.
And then I'm
It's
going
a central space.
to-
You are going to block it. So that costs you 2 treasures.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
So what is that on your board? Is that a
That is a target
blue?
on a blue.
So it's double blue, which is 2 plus
and
2
then
for a
2.
target. So 4.
Four
Get
back.
4 treasures.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
So I'm going to
Oh, you don't need that.
unlock an ability. I'm going to do the
The relocation one.
relocation ability. I can't relocate that because she's
Nope,
blocked
it's
it.
blocked. It's gone.
But instead, I think I will take this one and put that there. And that makes an orange, doesn't it?
Yes.
Then what I'm going to do
You are going to block that one.
is I'm going to use those 2 there to block that.
Yep.
And that's an orange target. So I think that gives me 5.
Gives you 5. Stick the blocker marker on it.
Oh, very good.
And that uses that. And then these flip over. And that one. Okay.
You're ahead, Mark. Isn't good.
I've had one more go than you.
So yeah. So I am going to
Unlock all the power.
thank you very much. I'm going to move that. I'm going to move that like that. Put that there. And turn that over. And that's it.
Okay.
So both of you have been happy with the colours that you've got so far.
Well,
Still early days.
not ideal, but I've been able to make do with it. Okay, let's see what we've got from that then. You said we were happy with the colours we've got, and now we're not.
Okay. Which power do you want to unlock then?
So I am going to. I think I'm going to unlock this one.
Mhm.
And want to use my snake
Okay. To unlock a second power on the
to
same turn.
unlock this one.
Wow. Right.
Now, I'm going to do that one because I don't like this
Okay.
one.
So we move the red to one side. Blue.
I like the blue.
Okay.
ball.
So the red's going back.
Thank you.
And Mark could have spent a second treasure to basically take a yellow one.
Now I really want to activate this dial,
Use that one, which you can.
which I can. So in order to do that, I need to
1 treasure if you want to put it here. 2 if you want to put it on top
Yeah,
of
so I'm
something
going to
else.
put 2 there like that
Yeah, which allows you to put that
on there.
on there. And that doesn't flip that over because it's already inactive.
Yeah. Do I
Are
block
we
it?
having a block? Or
I'm not going to block it.
Thank you.
I'm going to let Sally move it.
Yeah. If she does, it
I'm
costs her,
saving my blocking.
it costs her 2 treasures if she does.
Very
Yeah.
good. So I am going. Let's take those off. So I'm just gonna move that there,
Mm-hmm.
put that there, and turn that
Okay.
It's interesting.
It is.
I'm just trying to play a bit more fortunately.
So I'm going to put that one there like that. Okay.
So,
Which one am I going to unblock?
all sorts of options.
So I'm going to unblock this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to move that one there like that. Put that one there.
So that one flips. They're all now inactive. So we flip over all.
I'm not going to block anything.
Right. What do I want?
How's yellow?
Another yellow.
I think yellow might be good.
Okay.
So
Unlock
let's.
power. Ah, the overwriting power.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, we're going to see that one.
Shenanigans.
Oh, so I'm going to do
We
this.
are.
Yeah.
So by using 2 treasures on the overwriting power, it allows you to choose a stack of 2 on the board. This one.
Absolutely.
Remove any of them.
That one there.
Yeah, and then you place your new one in place of the old one, but it uses the dial as normal. So you're using that dial on that space, which goes in there, which flips that over.
And then what I'm going to do is do that to block it.
Okay, so
not
that's,
a great block, but it's a block.
2. Is it a target?
It's target.
So that's 4.
That's very good.
Well, yeah. Wasn't a complex colour though. Which
No,
is the
but
best
still
part.
4. 4's good.
Okay.
Can I have the thing, please?
Sorry.
Yeah. I'd forgotten it was 4. I thought it was only 3.
It's so it's 1 for a single one of the base colour, 2 for the same colour, and then +2 for the target.
On there. I'm going to unlock something. Let's unlock this one. That's quite a useful one. I think I'm just going to simply do that and put that one.
Okay.
You're not going to block it?
Well,
No, I'm
yeah.
not. We've already moved it once. I'm going to let you move it again. I'm going for the
Yeah,
long.
strategy.
I'm going for
Yeah.
the long haul here.
Good.
I'm not going to just use all my blockers
I'm going to take that.
because there are already 3.
There are only 3.
When they're gone, they're gone.
I'm going to take.
You can use your feathered serpent to unlock a second one. Okay, right. Sally's going aggressive.
He is.
Oh dear.
It's going to be expensive, I think.
It is going to be expensive, and I wasn't going to play in this way, but it appears that I am. So let's do that one and that one to remove that.
Second time
So
we've removed the blue.
one of the blues, yeah. Which
I
means
then-
you're going to have to use. You're going to have to pay to use this inactive dial, which is going to be another 2.
Which will
To put that on
one there. And then
Do you want to block it?
Purple.
I am going to.
So you're going to get a loan to block it. So it costs you 7 points to do that.
Wow. So Sally's taking a loan and then going to spend those 2 treasures to block that
to block
space,
it.
and that's all your block's done
It is. So that is 5. I get that
because it's a
the
purple with a target.
Yes.
Now I'm just hoping that me playing conservatively is I'm going to come back
Yeah.
because she's obviously done really, really well so far. I suspect that won't be the case.
We'll see. We will see.
Yes.
Right, what power are you going to unlock? Well, you only have 1 power. There you go.
Okay. So here's the thing. Yeah, I don't really want to do that because I can't do it. So,
So Sally, by taking 1 loan, that's -3 points at the end of the game.
So yes, it is. So I think I'm going to do a little relocation.
Ooh.
I think. So that's this one.
Yeah.
And where I need to go to, I need to be able to action
Yeah,
it.
so this is the only active dial. You would have to pay to use one of the others.
I may end up taking a loan as well.
Now we discussed this.
Maybe I just shouldn't do it and just let Sally make a mistake. I'm going to pass.
Made many.
You're going to pass.
I'm passing.
Okay.
Okay, very
You unlocked a power and then pass. Yeah.
Yes.
excellent.
Which is I don't get to unlock a power now.
So
On my next turn.
I'm gonna unlock this. That's really interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one there,
To be able
move
to
that
use
there,
that. Yep.
And pop that one.
So using that
in there.
power only costs 1 treasure if you're using an inactive dial to place onto an empty space. So that's a red on that space now. And that's your go done. You're going to swap your 5 for 5 ones.
I am.
Okay.
So interestingly, you don't get to unlock a power on your turn.
No.
Because they're all unlocked.
Yeah. Okay. So I am now going to... Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do. I want to use this. So I'm going to use
Two
this one
treasures,
here.
Use that dial.
And put that one just there. That's probably a mistake on my part, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Do I block it? Do I lock it?
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe I don't. It's worth 4, isn't it?
It's a complex colour, so that's 3. Plus 2 if it was a target.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to.
Okay. Yeah, because if Sally wants to relocate it
Yeah.
or overwrite it, then that's going to cost more. Right.
Thank you very much. Then I have to
Another
take
yellow.
a second to think what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to unlock this one. I'm then going to move this like that. Pop that one in there.
Yeah.
Now that one
Flips.
flips and everything else
Flips back.
flips back.
Now then, this is
Now,
where I can start playing.
Yeah, this is
Can I
where...
have the bag, please? I think the
Ah.
slower...
Because
pace.
as soon as this place is locked off, either by having 2 pieces on it
This one
or
too.
blocked, that one too.
I left it open, didn't I?
You did,
Yeah.
so
That
I'm going
was
to put that one just there like that.
Right. Oh,
Okay, I'm going to unlock this because I have no choice.
yeah. Choose a dial. Any dial.
Yeah, so in fact, amazingly, I think I'm going to spend that one to move this one 1, 2. I'm going to put that one just there. And I've now done this.
Yep, so that flips over. But now this is locked.
This is
So
locked.
that goes on there, and you get 2 treasures.
2 treasures.
Okay, so
Red comes out.
a little red. I'm going to unlock this one. So what things do I like the look of? Let's do, maybe I'll move that 1, 2.
2. Stick a
and
red
pop the
down.
red down there.
Okay. Flips over.
Please.
I have 1 active dial left.
Think I know what I'm going to do.
I think I know what you're going to do as well.
I don't like that one though. That kind of changes my plans.
You want to change it?
Don't know that I do. So in fact, I'm going to... I am going... Did I unlock a power? I haven't, have I?
You haven't unlocked a power yet.
So I am going to...
Reuse it.
well, because then I got... Yeah, let's do it.
See.
I've also got to move it twice as well.
So that's reusing an inactive dial to place on top of another piece and rotating a dial twice.
Wow.
Put that one just there.
Okay. Right.
I'm just having a little ponder here. I'm going to take a loan.
2 money.
2 money. And I am actually going to lock
You're
it.
going to spend... Which one?
This one.
It's on the outside. It's
On the outside, only one.
Push it on. So that's a complex colour.
Yep.
Is it a target?
It is.
So you get 5.
Okay, that feels as though just a little bit.
Yeah,
Quite
you've got a bit more
expensive.
money to play with.
But don't like taking loans, but Sally's taken one, so I feel as though.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have 1 active dial.
Okay,
Have you unlocked the power?
No, I haven't. Thank you very much. That's going to be very expensive. I'm just gonna
You're going to pass.
pass.
Okay. Right, Mark.
Of course, I've already passed once.
Yeah, so passing a second time will lose you 1 point.
Yeah.
You might want that.
I might, and I also might not.
But you can change it. So, unlock a power first.
Yeah, that's already quite a difficult decision to make. Yeah, so do I want to unlock my second one? That's the question. So one of the possible things I can do. I can replace, can't I?
Yep, you can overwrite that.
But obviously I would have to.
You have to still use a dial in order to be
Yeah.
overwriting, yeah.
Yeah, perhaps that's not so good. Can I still mess about with this?
You can.
Yeah, so I'm going to unlock this power.
Yep.
I'm then going to find a different
so
colour.
Go on blue. Let's see what we get instead. So, not blue. Red. You happy with red?
Red.
Or do you want yellow?
I'm not happy with red.
Okay, so you're going to pay another treasure to take a yellow. Keep going.
Just take one. Hey, who took all the yellows? Okay, there we are, Paul. Thank you. And then I'm going to use that to put that there, using this one.
Reusing that one. Yeah. So we are, yeah, it's getting close to ending, isn't it?
It is.
There's not many spaces left.
It is. Okay.
So you passed when you had a yellow, and you've got another yellow.
I'm wondering whether to pass the second time.
Ooh.
Actually.
It will cost you one treasure at the end.
It
but...
will. It will. It might be worth it though. I'm thinking that.
Okay.
What I'm going to
So
do.
Sally does her
Did you
second
unlock the thing
pass.
first?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Thank
get
you very
that as well.
much.
Right, Mark.
So I'm going to unlock this one. And lo and behold, I too will pass.
Okay, you both pass one.
Great.
Cat and mouse.
Yeah, we're not going to do this again, Mark. Let's not start this.
Well, you can't pass more than twice in the game. So
Yes. So.
And if you can't move at all,
you lose the game.
you lose the game instantly.
Yeah, which almost happened in the
Fantastic.
game that we played earlier.
Fantastic. I love that idea.
Okay, I'm going to go there.
Have you unlocked a power?
No. I will not unlock that because I can't put any more blockers down. I will unlock that.
And then you're going to use the turn a dial twice?
Yes, I am. Although, just 1 second of thinking. Is there anything else that will get me out of this? No. So I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move that twice. And I'm going to
Pop the yellow on there.
chat down.
So that flips over, which means these two flip back. Okay. Right.
So that
Oh.
feel another loan coming on.
Red.
Even when I try to play conservatively, I can't. Awful.
Red.
Any good?
Don't think so.
So unlock a power.
Yeah. Oh. Let's do this one. But you see, I don't actually know which colour I would like.
Well, you can have anything you want for these two treasures. It's just, is it worth it?
Yeah. I think it's not good at all. So I'm going to do a relocation.
Okay, that's going to cost these two. what's being relocated.
Oh, this is replace one.
That's
isn't
replace.
it?
That's that. Replace one of these with that.
I'm going to do that instead.
Okay.
So I want to replace this one.
Yeah, so that's on a single space, so it only needs one.
So, and I'm going to turn that one that way so I can activate it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going
And
to
then that goes in place of that.
Yeah.
There
And then
you go.
that one goes in the bag.
That one goes in the bag, and you used that dial, so
Yep.
that flips over. There you go.
Great.
I think the first couple of times you play this, I don't think you'll appreciate how good these are.
Yeah.
But once you get used to it, they can really get you out of a place that you're not happy with.
Yeah. So
I kept a blocker, but I'm not using
You
it.
did, but
I should have used it earlier.
well,
Time will tell.
remember you can only use the blockers on a colour match, and if it turns out at the end of the game you placed it on the wrong
Yeah,
colour, it's
yeah.
-6.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do this.
Okay, you're overwriting as well.
I am.
Which one?
I'm going to take that one off,
One of the yellows, yeah.
and then
And
I'm
replace
gonna
it with the
pop
blue.
the blue one on
Yeah.
in that place.
Which
there,
flips
which
that
means
over.
That goes over, and all the other ones turn.
Yeah, that one, that one.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Okay.
Okay. It's interesting because the overwriting and the relocating extends the length of the game.
Yeah.
Because you're not adding
They do.
new things to the board.
Make it far more strategic.
Yes.
Now then, don't like that colour. Although I could potentially. Well, let's unlock something first. Let's unlock that one. I'm also trying to think about the contiguous thing at the end.
Right, yeah.
So on that basis, I'll do that. Oh, it's really hard. And I think probably... I'm going to also...
Oh, you can
Unlock
use your
this
second
one.
feathered serpent to unlock that.
I am, and
right.
And I'm going to take loans and probably end up being negative points again. So I'm going to do this.
So we don't want red. We still don't want red. Yellow. You happy with yellow?
No, we're not happy with yellow. Oh dear.
Loan.
So you take a loan,
And I'm going to take the blue.
and then you spend that to basically take a loan.
And I'm going to put the blue just there like
You're
that.
allowed to do, and that flips that over.
Sorry, just before we go any further, I am considering taking another loan, which I'm going to do
Oh gosh!
for two
Another 2 money.
money. And I'm going to block this one here.
Wowzers.
So that's a central space, so it costs 2.
Yeah.
That goes there. So that's 3 colour. Sorry,
And it is just a purple.
it's a complex colour, so it's 3, and it's not a target on your card.
It's not a target on my
So
card.
just 3.
Okay.
And both players have now used all of their block markers.
Okay.
So-
So I don't like that colour.
But you get to unlock a power first.
Oh yes, I do. Which would be that one.
You don't want the yellow.
I don't want the yellow. Let's have a little look. Yes, that is the boy I
Is that
want.
what you want?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's going to go there. That's going to go.
That flips
there.
that over. These
That
then go
goes
there. You
there.
gain a treasure, and these flip back. Okay. So the game is almost over. Mark goes there. Game over.
Yeah. Okay.
Yellow. Unlock a power.
Yeah.
You can't pass. You can't take any more loans. You can't place any more block markers. So your options are limited.
I'm going to do that one.
Yeah.
I've got -6 points, but I'm 3 ahead here. It's 4 points for the biggest
4
contiguous thing,
points for
isn't
the
it?
largest contiguous group.
So I have to take a bet. I bet Sally's got that better than me. That's my bet.
Count on it.
And I'm just pondering. I think I should probably end it. So I'm going to go like that.
And you're just going to put that on there?
I'll put that one there.
Yep.
And hope it doesn't get Sally
And
5
that
points.
is the end of the game. So
Oh, wow.
both players are going to reveal their scoring cards, and let's go through them. First of all, let's check that your block markers are legal. So Mark, you said that this was purple,
Yep.
and that this was green,
Yep.
and that this was orange.
Yep.
Sally, you said that that was
Yellow.
yellow, that was blue,
Blue,
that was
purple.
purple. Okay, so the block one's already been scored. Let's go through this one. It's orange. No, it's not. Is it red?
Oh.
Orange. It's orange.
It's orange.
Yes.
It's
You
orange.
wanted red.
I wanted
And
red.
Sally wanted it
good.
red, so
For that.
nobody
Good.
scores for
Very
this one. This one is red.
It's a target for me.
Is it red or is it orange?
It's orange.
No, it's orange.
Orange. It's me.
It is orange.
Me. So,
Again, the colours are going to be made more vivid in the final version.
So
But
that's
yeah, that's orange.
3.
It's a complex colour, so it's 3.
Great.
Purple. Complex colour, 3.
3 for me.
Green.
That's me.
Complex colour, 3. And purple.
Yes.
Ah, you see, you made that purple. I
was
wondered
so
why you made that
happy.
purple.
Oh.
Feel the corner, I think.
No, it was early on.
Was
I
it?
wondered why you did it. I wasn't sure.
Well, yeah.
I was
Right.
really happy with that.
Largest contiguous group. Who's
I've
got?
got 3, I think.
I've got 4.
Well, there we go.
Didn't say you thought Sally had
again,
more.
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You've got
5.
that as a group of
Yes.
4. And Mark, you've got purple, green, purple.
Yeah,
You've got 3 here.
yeah. So you get 4 as
So
well.
4 points.
So
to
I'm
that.
at minus 2. Minus
And
1.
then you lose minus 9, minus 10, minus 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Mark's got minus 4, which means you can't win. Sally, as long as you've got positive,
I have 10 points.
you have 10.
I
Wow.
do.
10 points versus minus 4. What went wrong?
I had minus 4 last time. I
You
think.
were slow playing at the start.
Oh,
which
I
thought
don't
was gonna
know.
work.
Yeah, I think we're trying to be too clever
Right.
and end up being really stupid.
Sally went aggressive at the start.
Yeah,
Took a loan, claimed things, and it worked.
yeah.
It worked out.
I mean, I suspect getting 3 loans is just
It's probably not a
a
good
mistake.
Probably not.
You
good.
just it's tempting. It's there, and you're thinking, oh,
I think that's the thing. So I kept being tempted to just kind of do extra
Yeah.
things to try and block you and try and be a bit nasty, but I had
Yeah.
to rein that in towards the end.
I spent a lot of treasures as well, changing
You
the
did.
colour. And
You did.
You probably just got to make do with what you got.
Sometimes. Right, we're all done. Thank you very much to you two. Thank you very much for watching. And as I mentioned at the start, I hope this video helps you make a decision about whether it's the kind of game that you would like. There are a number of extra add-ons included. Check out the Kickstarter page. Check out the crowdfunding page for all of the details of that. But there are going to be some, extra modules. And as I mentioned at the start, what you see here is a prototype. So these colours are going to be made more vivid. And all of the details will be there. Thank you again. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
See you next time. Bye-bye.